Okay, welcome back, Beneficiaries. Tutorial on the chapter called Matrimony. Now, matrimony means marriage. And clearly there's a contrast here between Mr. Greenbow, who is married, and Lally, who is not married, who is single, has never been married, and possibly doesn't even have a significant other. And the contrast is a strange contrast, actually, because in some ways Mr. Greenbow is actually a bit of a perv. I don't know how else to say that, but he's kind of trying to make a move on Lally, although he's never cheated on his wife except for once. This chapter tells us when he thought he was sleeping with he got drunk and he thought he was sleeping with a Portuguese woman. Turns out he was sleeping with a local prostitute, and his wife isn't around, and he gets drunk and he sleeps with this woman. So that's the only time he's been unfaithful, but he kind of he's intrigued by Lally, and he kind of makes a move on her, and possibly, I get the sense, and this is just my own sense, that Lally, she's, Mr. Greenbow's her boss, and she's not really attracted to him at all, but she gets a strange sense of what marriage really is by how she has encountered the married men in her life, and possibly her experience of her father, and possibly she hasn't married because of this experience, but also because maybe the one true love in her life is actually Pim, and she's never really got him. We see in the first little bit of that chapter how Mr. Greenbow is intrigued by her. He watches her often, and she really is intrigued and drawn to her. Lally here is, she's in this place where she's in a dead-end job. She's been to London so many times, and she's back now at age 35, and she says this interesting thing. She's thinking about her plight and her situation in London, and she says this: but she's all right for now. She's all right for now. And there's that repetition of that, which Lally's actually trying to convince herself that she's all right. But chances are she probably actually isn't all right. The fact that Mr. Greenbow always refers to his wife as my wife is very telling. He never mentions her name. And it actually says it here. It says he always refers to his wife as my wife, without a name, as men do when they are trying to distance themselves from their spouses, the titular conquering the personal. And so there's a sense here when he talks about his wife, it's not as threatening to a woman he's possibly trying to make a move on. And this all adds to Lally's kind of cynicism probably about men. Very interesting, at the end of this chapter, Lally says again, I don't cook, when Mr. Greenbow is quizzing her about her eating habits. And it says that Greenbow finds that arousing. After the blamelessness of blancmange, the sanctimony of soup, and the heavy virtues of sponge puddings at Sunday dinners, he feels ready for a liberated, non-cooking woman. And possibly this is how Pim feels as well, when he's faced with the choice between Ruth, his wife, and the regularity of life, and a non-cooking, liberated woman. So that's really a short discussion, but also gives us some unique insights into particularly the character of Lally and how she engages with the world. We see particularly, even with Greenbow, she engages with him in a very unemotional way. She's very cold. She makes sure that he knows how she feels about the situation. In the next tutorial, we'll look at the chapter entitled Matins, and there's some interesting thoughts that come out of that as well. Hope you're enjoying these. Tell your mates about them. You can even share this with guys from other schools if it's going to help them understand the beneficiaries, get them watching this channel. Happy to share this with anyone who wants to.